Yesterday we learned, are you listening?
Yeah.
Okay, we're starting now. Yesterday we learned how to graph equations using what? What were we setting up? Our tables, right? We set up an input-output table so that we could have what to graph? Ordered pairs, right? How many ordered pairs did we set up for each one of them?
5.
5. What is our standard set of domain numbers?
-2, -1, 0, 1, 2.
Right? Except when we have a fraction and then we have to choose multiples of the denominator, right? So they can cancel. So that's what we learned yesterday, how to graph those types of equations. Well, today I'm still graphing equations, except now I'm graphing them using intercepts. So now today, instead of having 5 points on my graph, I'm going to have 2 points on my graph. My 2 intercepts. You don't have to write down all of this. All right, I just want you to look at the first one. You only need how many points to graph a linear equation? 2. So while I did use 5 yesterday, I didn't need those middle 3. I really only need 2. So the x-intercept, and don't overthink this, is the point where the line crosses what? The x-axis. X-intercept. The y-intercept is the point where the line crosses the y-axis. So at what value is my line crossing my x and y axis? To find, and you need to write this down in your notes. I want to see this whole statement written in your notes. To find the x and y intercepts of a line, substitute what value? 0 for the variable you're not solving for. That right there, in a nutshell, is what today's lesson is all about. To find the x and y intercepts of a line, substitute 0 for the variable you're not solving for. All right, so here's what it looks like. Okay, you should not be out of your seat. Okay, go sit down. So I'm going to take an equation. 3x minus 2y equals 6. This equation looks like the ones you saw for yesterday. You put them in function form, did your table. Well, instead of doing all that, I'm going to find my x and y intercept. It doesn't matter which one you start with. Okay, so you're going to substitute 0 for the variable you're not solving for. So if I want to solve for x, 3x minus, now substitute 0 for y, equals 6. All right, and now I just solve. -2 times 0 is 0, so 3x equals 6. And how do I solve for x? Divide both sides by 3. X equals 2. X equals 2. Yes.
So if you were going to solve the whole equation.
So now I'm going to substitute in. Now I have to solve for y. So I'm going to substitute in 0 for x. All right. So you see where the x is in the equation. I'm going to substitute 0. 3 times 0 minus 2y equals 6. So now that cancels. -2y equals 6. And how do I solve for y? Divide both sides by -2. And y equals -3. Now that I have my x and y intercepts, I can take those values and graph them. All right, so this part you don't have to do on your graph paper. I just want you to watch. Let's go ahead and take these intercepts, and now let's go over to our graph. So let me just switch slides real quick. All right, so now we come over here to our graph, and we're going to plot a point on 2, and we plot a point on -3, and we draw a line through it. You don't have to graph this, okay? I just want you to look at it, okay? So we took our intercepts, x equals 2 and y equals -3, and we plotted them at an x value of 2 and a y value of -3. All right, and that was our answer. That was our graph. All right. Now, the part that your homework will not call for, but is covered in example 3, is to look for other solutions. I plotted my intercepts. I'm done. This is all you're going to have to do on your homework. but they want you to come up with other possible solutions to the equation, other ordered pairs. So can you see any ordered pairs that fall directly on that line that I graphed? Any that directly intersect? So we're just following, okay, look, it intersects here. What's the ordered pair that stands for this right here? -1, -4. Okay. What about 3, 1? Okay, 3, 1. Or what about -2, -5? All I'm doing is writing ordered pairs that kind of fall along this line. Like I said, it's not in your homework, so it's not necessarily like that part you don't necessarily have to understand. The most important thing is, can you find the intercepts, the x and y intercepts, and then can you graph it? All right? I'm going to do one that's going to look exactly like your homework assignment. So you're going to do it on your own, start to finish. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
So turn in your books to page, I think it's 400 even. Yeah, page 400. Anybody want a shorter homework assignment?
Yes.
Okay, so
It's only 9 questions.
that's going to be even shorter. It's going to be page 400. Numbers 10 through 20 even. Okay, I've told you guys before, I'm not in, it's not my goal for the day just to give you guys as much homework assignments as possible. I'm not really a fan of using decimals to find intercepts, so we're just going to stick with 10 through 20 even. All right, so look at number 11 with me. Here's what I would do. We're going to do number 11 just like as if it was a homework assignment. You have to find the x and the y intercept. So what I suggest you do is write the equation twice. One of them you're solving for x, and the other one you're solving for y. Okay? So if you're solving for x, what do you plug in for y? 0. Okay? So go ahead and make the substitution and solve for x. Okay, so if I substitute 0 for y, well, that makes it easy. This cancels. X equals 4. Who got x equals 4? All right, now how do I solve for y? Plug in 0 for x. 0 minus 2y equals 4, so negative 2y. Divide both sides by negative 2, y is negative 2. What do you do with those? Plot the points on an x value of 4 and a y value of negative 2. Draw your line. Go ahead and do that on your graph. Just a real quick graph. Okay, so I plot my points on each of those values. Does your line look like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, your line should look like that. All right, and now can you see one other ordered pair that could be a solution?
Ma'am.
All right, name it.
-1.
-4, -4. 2, -1. 7 up 2. Very good. All of those.
-2, -3.
-2, -3 is the one I had. Okay, very good. Very good. All right. Let's see, back it up. Okay, any questions, guys? So that's your homework tonight. You find the intercepts and then you graph them. That's it. Okay? And like 6 questions, not very long. Hopefully that's a nice break from your long homework assignment last night, which I do know was longer than normal, but sometimes that happens. Okay? If you understand that, that's everything you need to know for 8.3.